Hello everyone. We were discussing about multi-skill. I also explained to you that life is not becoming easier, but life is becoming difficult, but we are becoming more prepared. We are becoming more capable. That's the whole joy of living. The concept of multi-skill, if you really look at it, I want you to travel backwards in the development of various gadgets. When the telephone instrument was discovered or invented, the first set of instruments had two pieces. One piece to send the voice, there was another piece to hear, two pieces. But then the next technology changed, both of them were combined to one instrument, and the receiver and the mouthpiece were in the same. It would have taken maybe months or years for this development. Then what happened? The telephone was only used as an instrument to dial and then call and talk to somebody. Then slowly a speaker was added, maybe, and you can speak aloud. Or a telephone instrument had one more, maybe another extension. We could use it as an intercom. Then the telephone, what happened? Became the dial tone, the dialing system changed. Then it became a wireless instrument. You can walk around without being tied to one place. Then what all happened? Now the mobile phone, in the mobile era of telephone system, the telephone had SMS facilities. You can send short messages, you can record. Then radio signals, you started receiving it. Then nowadays you can have a video thing. Now we are in the age of smartphones, where the telephone is almost like a small little computer in your hand. You can do many things with the use of, you can play games and all that. So in the whole process, the telephone as an entity has more thing to offer to the society than the predecessor had. Ask yourself the question, are you becoming more and more versatile? If you do not become a versatile person, then it doesn't, you are not fit to be in living in a context of competition and excitement that you are seeing around you. I want you to recall in episode 9, I gave a chart. Now the whole thing is about how do you improve your productivity. Let it be any resource, whether it is your resource of time, your resource of money, your resource of skill set, the mind, the brain, anything. Now if you just carefully go through all the subsystems I was discussing, that is the journey you are starting with me today. Now that means each one of the subsystems you have to concentrate. You need to take charge. That's why I call this episode as Arise, Awake and Take Charge. In the right hand side, I have given a set of skills called interpersonal skills. Now, no matter what your technology is, no matter how equipped you are, no matter how knowledgeable and skillful you are, if you do not have the interpersonal skills, you are going to find it very difficult to stay focused on the journey to your excellence. I keep telling in my executive seminars, the higher up you go, you have to deal with more and more people-related issues. You will be dealing with less and less technical issues. On the top of this skill, I have given communication. Now, the ability to communicate, whether you are an individual or whether you are a nation or whether you are an organization, right? You are in the business of communication. If you cannot communicate, you are not going to compete in the world. Now, I recall one of the old stories I read way back, maybe 20, 30 years ago. It's a very interesting story on communication. There was a king, a monarch, and the king was preparing his crown prince to take over from him. So obviously the monarch was interested to get his son ready, giving him all the education and skill that is required. So he decides to send his son to a Zen master who lived in a forest. So he goes there as a disciple. And the first day, the Zen master tells the crown prince, go into the forest notice every noise, every sound that you hear. Come and report back to me. So the crown prince goes into the forest, listens to every noise, then he registers in his diary, and he comes back to the master. Master, master, I have all the list of sound that I heard. The master says, come on, let me know. So the crown prince talks about the noise of the thunder, the noise of the water falling 100 feet on a rock and creating such a huge noise. And then the master is, what else? And the crown prince exhausted, and the crown prince says, that's it. Then the master says, no, you're not heard fully, go back again. So this time the crown prince goes, spends another 1 week, and comes and tells the master, master, this time I have been even more attentive. Come on, tell me. Then he said, I was able to hear the hissing of a cobra. I was able to listen to the water falling from a small little brook. And I was able to listen to the noise when I walked on a dry leaf and all that thing. Then the master is asking, what else? And the crown prince is almost exhausted. He said, that's all. The master says, still you are not heard fully, go back. Now the crown prince starts doubting what is the intention of this master. But then he has so much of trust and confidence on his father. He says, let me try. And he goes and sits in front of a river and starts meditating. What is the real thing the master wants me to listen? And then it occurs to him. He spends 1 more week in the forest and comes back with a lot of excitement to the master and says, Master, this time I heard even very minute sound. Come on, tell me. Then the crown prince relates, I was able to hear the sound of a rock getting heated up in a hot sun. I was listening to the evaporation of dews as the sun rises. Then I was able to listen when the flowers were withering because of the hot sun. I was able to listen the withering of the trees and leaves. And this is what I heard. I was able to actually listen the silent language of communication. The master says, now you are ready. Then he says, when you become a king, people will come and praise you in front of you. People will come and abuse you in front of you. People will talk about you. You will hear all that. Your concentration will be there. They will see to it that you listen, because it is their business that you listen. But there are a lot of people who will come and stand in front of you. Now you should be able to see their face. Emotions have no language. Feelings do not have a language. Now when a person is sad, can you listen the language of silent communication? That is why I was wanting to make you to go and listen to all this. Now this is very, very important. Now why I give this episode to you, we are taking charge of our life. We are going to arise and awake and take charge of our life. And we have to understand people have problems and we have to be compassionate. In the next episode, I'm going to give an amazing story of how a person had to balance between 2 different emotions. I promise I make a difference in your life. I will see you in my next episode.